We have no
Who
idea.
would you want, LB? Like, because that's a good question. Who would you actually want? Because I know it's not going now, so you can look at it and it might be different in a couple of years. But is there anyone you look at and think, do you know what? If and when it happens, I would love Man City to have him. Because that's a hard to follow, man. From him.
I have a clue, bro. Because I tell you what, yeah, start of the season, I had 3 people on my list, and then they're all not on my list now.
Go on.
Luis Enrique, Vincent Kompany, and who was the other one? There's someone else on my list as well, but he's not on my list now. I had three managers that were all on my list, and now they're not on my list. So I can't remember who it was. I don't know. I genuinely have no idea, man. It's going to be this Mitchell guy, yeah, Girona. Let's just be real, yeah. Bill Ramen in the chat, yeah. If Mitchell next season gets Girona in the top 4 again, or basically even just does semi-decent with Girona again next year, it's probably going to be him, yeah. I think could go for Arteta, but I don't know.
LB said last night that that's some. I don't want to misquote him. I don't think he said that's my guy, but he did say that he'd like him after Pep. He'd say that would be it. So Arteta. He said Arteta after Pep would excite him. He'd be up for that. He thinks he's good enough.
Who said that?
Nobbins.
Oh, you said LB. I was like,
you said LB, and I was like,
Nobbins. Sorry. My mistake. Sorry. Nobbins said that last night that he would take Arteta when Pep leaves.
Nah, I don't know about that, man. I'm not sure about Arteta, to be honest with you.
I prefer company over Arteta. Wow.
Yeah, I know. I just
that's mad.
Too many red flags at the moment for him. For me.
Really? Would you take Vincent Kompany over Arteta?
That's a wild one.
No, I wouldn't. No, but I would. He would be on my shortlist. 100%. I mean, Bayern Munich were looking at him, weren't they? You know what I mean, so this it's they obviously see something, and Burnley played good football this year. They just needed a striker. Honestly, I don't know, man.
Yeah, Bayern Munich are also looking at Ten Hag. Would you take Ten Hag?
If he wants to clean the canteen and shit like that, then maybe, yeah. Anywhere near the tactics board, then absolutely not. No, I wouldn't take Ten Hag. Honestly, I don't know, man. I don't know who I would take. The manager market's dead.
But can I ask you this question about Arteta? Can I ask you a question about Arteta?
Yeah.
The only reason he hasn't just won back-to-back Premier League titles is because of the man you've just said is the greatest club manager of all time.
There are things that I don't like about some of the stuff that he's done. So, 3 seasons ago, bottled the top 4. That was nothing to do with Pep Guardiola. Bottled the top 4. Last year, bottled the title. That was nothing to do with Pep Guardiola. This year, didn't like the way he set up his team against City. Yeah, thought that was... Yeah, I didn't like that. And then obviously lost against Villa. There are things that I don't like. The fact that he never dropped Saka early in the season when Saka was playing bad. Yeah. Like, I remember the Fulham game when Reece Nelson was playing left wing, Saka was playing right wing. Reece Nelson was playing all right. Saka was dropping a stinker. Took Reece Nelson off. And I was like, why's he doing that? Saka's the one. He protected Saka. So there's just things that I don't... There's things that I've seen that I just don't really like. So, but like I said, I just don't know, bro. I don't know who we'd get. The manager market is dead. Like, it's honestly dead.
Zidane would be a great shout. Zidane would be a great shout, in my opinion.
He would. I mean, Zidane's got the experience, the trophies. I mean, who else really is there? I mean, you got Flick, who's won trophies, but there's something about Flick, and maybe your structure would help, but I don't know. There's something about Flick I'm not sold on. I don't know what it is, and it potentially is because I don't know enough about him. But yeah, I mean, everybody you take is going to be a downgrade. That's the reality.
I just don't want someone like a Slot or a Ten Hag, someone who's like managed in the Dutch league or sort of like, you know what I mean, something like, I want like a manager that's like, managed at a good level and can show some success. I don't like even Luis Enrique. I've kind of gone off him a little bit this year because PSG have been poor, but like you could look at the fact that maybe PSG is just poor under everyone they've had. So maybe it's just PSG. So maybe I'd still consider him. But like you say, it's just like, I don't know. I don't think there's any perfect option. Luis Enrique is like, you'd say that's the more natural fit, right? Because you'd say he's been at Barcelona. He's played Barcelona style. He can come into City and continue the style. Do you know what I mean?
Thiago Motta, he's been at Barcelona. He knows the style. He's one of those guys. He's highly rated. Bologna, very highly rated.
He falls into the category of not enough experience.
Xabi Alonso?
Well, if Xabi Alonso's available, obviously Real Madrid will probably be battling. Yeah, 100%. Providing that he doesn't fall off.
Carlo, man. Don Carlo could be available if Xabi's there.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's a very good point.
A domino effect.
Well, this is the thing, right? So the situation is this, right? Carlo Ancelotti doesn't leave Real Madrid next year, and then City say to Xabi Alonso, "Come to City," yeah, and then I'm backing that we can get him, or Real Madrid say to Carlo, "Right, we want to think a bit more long term." Which is something that they don't really do anyway. But we want to think of something a bit long term. See you later. Xabi Alonso win. Carlo Ancelotti. We've got to go for Carlo Ancelotti. And just try and stack Champions Leagues whilst he's at the club, innit? Because that's what he's about. Carlo is about the Champions Leagues, innit? So, yeah. Actually, now you said that, Xabi Alonso or Don Carlo, 100%. I'd take either of them. Thanks, Dan.
I'm here all week.
I'm suddenly a lot more calmer about the situation. See you, Pep. Yeah. Don't mind now.
I get the manager market is a little like that. I think part of the reason the manager market is like that, though, is I think it's circumstances as well. Like if you look at Barcelona, you think about Xavi at Barcelona. I don't necessarily listen. I think if you don't like a manager, you can find all the negative things about him. There's a handful of managers that you can't do that against over the last 30 years. Maybe Sir Alex. Some people find negativity in him. Even with Pep, some people say he's just a checkbook manager. So you can find negativity in a manager if you don't like him. But I look at Xavi as an example. He has won a league title, but they have been run not particularly. They've improved how they've been run, Barca, but for the past 7-8 years, they haven't been run particularly well. So that doesn't help people like him. Financially is their biggest issue as an example. You've obviously got the dominance that happens, generally speaking, in Germany. So rarely is there a manager of a German club that everybody is scrambling over. Everybody is this year because Alonso is about to do an invincible treble. So we're going, I really want that guy. But in 12 months' time, if he doesn't win a trophy and comes fourth, people are going, I'm not convinced anymore. I think the problem we have as fans, we're very, very fickle when it comes to managers. And sometimes we're not looking at the overarching context of football. You think about managers that have managed in England in the last 7 or 8 years. You've got the best 2 managers, in my opinion, in world football here, dominating. Therefore, everybody else doesn't appear as good. But if you can't have those best 2 managers, maybe the guys underneath are still good enough to continue winning. You just won't be as good as you once were. And I think sometimes you've got to be a bit more open-minded. It's hard, though, when you've been in your situation because you've had the absolute best. And I always liken it. Do either of you boys drink wine?
Yeah, I like a wine.
Like a red wine?
Yeah, I like a red wine. That's what I drink. The biggest mistake I ever made financially was buying a really expensive bottle once. I spent like £55 on a bottle of red, and it was gorgeous. I then, a week later, went and bought a normal bottle of like $9.99 from the shop, and it tasted like piss and vinegar. In comparison, and when you experience something really, really good, it is hard then. If you ever fly first class or business class, it's so hard to go back to economy. And I do get it, but I think there's going to be some options out there for you. And the one thing with City, you're so well run, you're not going to make mistakes. But you said something, LB, I wanted to.